From the studios of KHTS in beautiful downtown Newhall, California, it's time once again for Families in Action with your hosts, Cary Quashen and Michael Doherty. Families in Action is brought to you by KHTS AM 1220, your hometown station. And now, here's Cary Quashen.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Cary.
Doesn't he sound like a real radio star, huh? And that's why we call him the Silver Fox. I mean, it's so professional.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And my mother and father thank you because they gave me my voice.
But you really have a face for radio, so you want to sit over there?
Oh, my
No, I'm
goodness.
just kidding. I'm just teasing. How are you? How's everybody out there? I hope everyone out there listening is safe from the rain.
There you go.
It's been, we needed it, but boy, it's been wild.
You had a little challenge there where you live.
Well, unfortunately, I live on Iron Canyon, and that's right in the midst of all the mud and all the stuff. So last week when I was home, I mean, forget it. I won't even tell you how bad the driveway was. It was covered with mud. I mean, only thing going to get it up is tractors.
Now, Mary did see the footage on television of the law enforcement car floating down the street.
Yeah, it's been really fun on Iron Canyon, the mud and the cleanup. When I left, forget my yard. I mean, it was covered with mud. I have a circular driveway, and you can only get in one way. The other way was just a mess. And the little river creek thing on the side was raging. There was news and tractors and cops and everything on my street going door to door saying evacuate. And so I grabbed whatever I could and my 3 dogs and me, and we drove to the ranch where I have a little house there. And that's where we have been. It was either leave or not be able to leave for a few days. Wow. So I need to be able to be outside.
So you've had fires. Mm-hmm. And now you've had floods.
And mud.
The next one is pestilence.
We don't even want to talk about that.
Pestilence.
I had the
Get ready for the...
I dealt with that. I don't even want to go there and talk about the rats that was on Iron Canyon that we had to deal with for about a week and a half with exterminators and everything else. It was wild at best. So I grabbed all my clothes except for dress clothes. So today I'm driving to the hospital. We're not allowed to wear jeans, right? And I'm already feeling bad, and I stop at Starbucks and grab an oatmeal and coffee, and halfway to the hospital, the coffee all over my lap. So Macy's is my hero. I got new slacks,
They
new
redressed
shirt.
you.
I feel good. Exactly.
I know, because you called me up and you told me what you were wearing, and that's when you had the jeans or whatever.
Right.
So when you walked in the studio, I had to do a double take because I knew, hey, wait a minute, he's cleaned up.
So I got a couple of outfits out of being there. So there you go. And rumor has it that they opened up Sand Canyon. I'm just guessing. I haven't been listening to the radio. Huh? I believe so, but we'll check into it and give you more information. I'm hoping they did so I can at least get back home and see how things are. So,
well, we hope everyone out there that's listening they stayed dry, that they didn't have leaky roofs and things like that.
Oh, I had that too. And we
Cary.
already fixed the roof last year. So,
Cary, I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a few places. But that being said and done, I had a great weekend. My daughter was in a horse show for 5 days down by Palm Springs in Palm Desert, and she did really great. I'm super proud of her. And Sean was in some jiu-jitsu competition Saturday and Sunday. He took second place.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, it was his first jiu-jitsu competition. He was in karate and all those other martial arts all growing up. But he 3 more seconds he'd have got first. He had the guy in an arm lock, and we're all counting, and the bell rang.
Oh, my.
And then the guy even came up to Sean at the end, and he said, I was ready to tap out. You had me. But so it was pretty fun. Pretty good weekend with my kids.
Good. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Well,
so I got a lot to be grateful for, huh?
I would say.
Me too.
See, that's the thing. I mean, people have to stop, and yes, sure, that might have been annoying, and a tree may have fallen over, and your backyard may have turned into a lake, but
a mud
in
lake.
The scheme of things.
Yeah, but it takes that. I mean, you got to sit down for a minute and put your feet on the ground when you wake up and think of all the things that you're really grateful for, and you could see through the fog of all the stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
So it's a mess. but I'll be home, and we'll get the mess cleaned up, and life goes on.
Yeah, our pastor was saying that he virtually has a lake in his backyard, and they can't walk even near the water because the ground is so saturated that you sink all the way to your kneecaps.
Exactly. So, that's my yard. I have 2 acres up there, so it's a mess. But the front yard is really bad.
It's when your house starts sinking that you have problems, right?
Mike, don't jinx me. I have enough.
Don't say
I'm trying to stay grateful here.
Just be grateful.
I'm trying to stay there.
Good. Yeah. It's going to be in the 70s this weekend, so that'll help dry things up for ARA.
That would be, yes, we need it right now. That would be really good. I mean, we need the rain, so I'm not going to complain about it. But all at once, we could do maybe a little without.
Now we know how all of our friends in Seattle and Portland feel.
Exactly.
They get a lot of rain up in those areas.
Well, it's kind of even hard to even explain it unless you're up in the San Canyon area or one of the places where it's evacuated, because it's so unbelievable. When you pull up there and you see the streets that you can't even drive because your car is sliding from the mud, and there's tractors and trailers, and I'm telling you, 12 to 24 trucks coming to get mud out. In and out, just to get the mud out, and the police on those little 3-wheelers. I mean, it's their 4-wheeler little things. And,
because their car was floating down.
Yeah, exactly. They couldn't drive their own cars, so they had those little, what do they call them? The little things on 4 wheels.
Yeah, the little 3-wheelers. Yeah,
ATVs. So I saw quite a few of that. And, I mean, the news. I mean, it was really incredible to see the devastation up there. But fortunately, I believe everybody's okay, and it's just mud cleanup now. So there you go. I'm seeing through the fog. I'm staying grateful, Mike.
That's the way to be. What else can you do? I mean, you could sit around and cry about it, but that wouldn't get you anywhere. It'd just make you wetter.
And then I might need another new shirt.
That would be bad.
that would be real good. So anyway, here we go. Let's
do you want to talk a little bit about what Action does?
I'll let you.
Oh, okay.
You with your voice today. How's
I hear what you're saying. The thing is, though, what I want to do is I want to remind everybody that you have a free parent support group every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m. at Canyon High School, and I just think this is such a wonderful service. You've been doing it for a really long time,
about 30 years,
and you head it up. You actually do it.
I'm there.
And
I am.
This is the place. If you're sitting out there listening to this right now and you're saying, "I just can't control my child. I don't even know what to do," this is the place to go. Free, and it's free. That's the great thing. Free parent support group, Cary.
Yeah, there's trained counselors that are there to work with your kids, and then there's a parent support group with parents that's been through anything that you can imagine. And I participate in the parent group over there, so I head that up, and you can't go wrong. If you're saying to yourself, "Should I?" Yeah, you should. It's a place to go.
And as we've talked about before, if you're sitting there saying, "Well, wait a minute, what if I show up and I know somebody that's there?" What do you say to that, Cary?
If you're there, I'm just reading this crazy text message about a kid that's completely out of control that they're scooping up and bringing to my ranch right now. He's diabetic. He's using drugs. He's coming home only every few days. And it was to say the parents are desperate, and it goes on and on. He has diabetes. They're not able to take care of it. He's completely out of goes on and on.
Sad.
Yeah.
Very
so what
sad.
was your question? I'm sorry.
I forgot now. Talk to us about Action.
We have
somebody's out there and doesn't have a clue what Action is.
Well, we do a lot of different things. Action Family Counseling is alcohol and drug rehabilitation centers. We have 35 adult beds in Bakersfield if we need to get somebody out of Dodge, and it's a really nice place. And then we have 22 adult beds in Piru at the old Round Rock Hotel. Very cool. I get actually jealous when I think of that because our cook there, he used to work at Lucille's. I'll leave it at that.
Oh.
And can he cook? So if I get really hungry for lunch or something and I really want something good, I'll drive to the rehab. Isn't that funny? So, but a lot of great stuff happens there. There's counselors and therapists, and they see psychiatrists and doctors and all that kinds of stuff. And sometimes you just need to get away from everything in order to be clean and to get away and just kind of take a break from life and let somebody take care of you and figure out where you want to go in life. And then we have a ranch up the street, and there's 18 beds for kids, 12 to 17. And it's kind of like a 30-day live-in intense program. Then we have intensive outpatient programs for people that kid really need to be able to stay at home and work and take care of business, but get that extra support. So, and it deals with alcohol and drugs and relapse prevention and impulse control and self-esteem and anger management, and we can really watch what's going on.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of different stuff.
Well, and this text that you just saw, hopefully that'll all work out, and it'll come your way, and you guys will take care of it.
Well, I could tell you two things that'll happen within the next couple hours. The kid will be safe, and the parents will be able to relax because they'll know the kid is safe. So that I can guarantee. How's that?
Very good. Yeah. Cary, I have two items in the action file today that lead us into our topic, which is all about marijuana, the real story. Cary, the national.
See, and that's what I'm reading here with this kid. Maybe I'll read it on the break. I'll find it. But he's what we're finding with these children, and I'll let you do your thing. But I just need to say that. And in fact, Channel 7 News is supposed to call me either today or tomorrow to do a story on it because it's such a deal right now. But when we're getting children, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, that are smoking this high-potency pot, everything else comes second to that. So we're really seeing an extreme crisis right now when it comes to adolescents and marijuana. And I'm not going to argue with adults. Do what you want. You're an adult. But I could tell you this. When it comes to children, we are really seeing a problem right now. So it's really starting to concern me and almost all of the treatment facilities and ERs and police. So it's something that we need to pay attention. And I'm not even going to debate the legal, if it's legal or not. Who cares? What I am saying is we have an issue with it. We got to watch our children. That's what I'm saying.
Absolutely. The National Academy of Sciences, that's the NAS, in a landmark report written by top scientists.
Saw that, yes.
And here's the report. It's called The Health Effects of Cannabis and Cannabinoids, Current State of Evidence and Recommendations for Research. And that all sounds
and
like...
These are the head scientists.
Yeah, these are the guys. And what they did was they reviewed over 10,000 peer-reviewed academic articles that marijuana use is connected to, among other problems. Here you go. Respiratory problems, mental health issues like psychosis, social anxiety, and thought society. We got to stop there because we know this one.
Well, what do you do for a living?
We work over at the Behavioral Health Unit.
What is that?
We take care of people with severe acute mental health problems.
Meaning suicidal,
right?
Homicidal, psychotic, schizophrenia, and all those kind of things. And we've been doing this for a long time, and I can tell you that in the last couple of years, with the THC potency going up and up and up, and the availability of the wax and the oils and the edibles, we're seeing an extreme increase in psychosis and other issues. And
the drug stream only shows marijuana.
Pretty interesting, isn't it?
Interesting.
And we're not the only ones seeing that because I'm the executive director of the Behavioral Health, and you do all the marketing. But because we're so involved in that arena, we're involved in a lot of other psychiatric facilities and ERs, and it's an increase everywhere.
It sure has.
So they're saying, I love the studies when they're saying, well, not many people aren't getting treatment for marijuana. There's probably a lot less people using. Wait a minute. They're maybe not getting treatment for marijuana, but they're surely in ERs, mental health units, and everything else because of the issues that come along with it.
Oh, my goodness. So we can put a big yes on the end of that one.
Oh, yeah.
Also, increased risk of car accidents for obvious reasons.
I actually was reading some of the Colorado things, and you all can do the same, but there's definitely an increase in what you call buzz driving there. And people are getting arrested, and they are having serious issues. In fact, if I read it correctly, they actually gave a warning to California. Did you see that?
No, I didn't, but it makes total sense.
Yeah, they pay attention to what you're doing before you vote. But that is what it is.
Too late for that one.
Yeah, it's too late for that one.
And moving on, progression to and dependence on other drugs, including studies showing connections to cocaine and heroin use.
See, that's been the ongoing argument forever. Is marijuana a gateway drug? And let's look at it a couple of ways. Not everybody who smokes marijuana is going to use heroin. We know that. Okay, it'd be ridiculous to say any different. But I can tell you that I've been treating people for 30 years, and almost every addict that I've ever dealt with, meaning heroin addicts, crystal meth addicts, cocaine addicts. I'm going to exclude some of the opioids, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But almost all of those addicts, first drug they used was either a cigarette or marijuana. So is it a gateway drug?
Or a cigarette, then marijuana.
Yeah,
right?
so is it a gateway drug? I don't know. But I do know this. Like I said, almost every addict that I've ever dealt with started with marijuana. So you figure that out. I said I'm going to exclude the opioids only because we have an opioid explosion right now, and there's what you call pain meds, and people have pain. And the pain meds out there, the Vicodin, the Oxys, and all that stuff, they're great. They do a great job of masking. I'm going to say masking because they don't fix it. They mask your pain. Problem with that is if you continually use those drugs, your body now becomes physically addicted to them, because and I'm not going to even say anything. I mean, except for if you have pain, you might need them.
And after I had surgery, I did, and thankfully my doctor actually said to me, Mike, be very careful with this. He gave me oxycodone for the pain and said, if you don't have to take these, don't, because they're highly addictive. I was so thankful that he did that.
They're highly
addictive. But not all doctors will remember to do that.
Right. So what's happening now is people are getting surgeries or whatever the deal is. They're getting these massive amount of pills because they need them. Mm-hmm. They take them for a month or two, and then they say, okay, I'm done, and they stop, and guess what?
Their body wants more.
Their body needs more.
Yeah.
And they get sick, which now tricks their mind to believe that they're still in pain. So they continue to take the pain meds, but instead of 1 every 4 hours, which don't work anymore because you build up a tolerance, it's 2 every 4 hours, and then it's 3, and then it's 4. And I've seen people taking onwards of 30 to 50 pills a day when they end up with us. Seriously. So
that's a habit.
Yeah. So so I guess what I'm saying is you have your normal addict, which we're going to talk about, that gradually goes from cigarettes to weed to booze to whatever else. Then we're treating what you call accidental addicts today, which are the people that are getting strung out on the opioids or the benzos. I mean, one of the most prescribed drug in America is benzos. Mm-hmm. What are benzos? Xanax, Ativan, Valium, anti-anxiety drugs. Mm-hmm. I can't make it through the day without my Xanax.
Yeah.
You know, it used to be Valium, now Xanax.
Yeah.
And those are, again, extremely highly physically and emotional addictive drugs. So you take Xanax for a period of time, and then you say, okay, I'm done. You might be, but your body's not.
Right.
So now your body starts craving it physically, and if you don't have them, you get sick. So you have to somehow either wean yourself off or detox. Mm. So we're treating, like I said, a lot of accidental addicts. And I'm not even going to blame anyone. I mean, people have anxiety, they need them. People have pain, they need pain meds. And people want to blame the docs. Well, you can't blame the docs. And there's some you can because they're clearly drug docs. But docs are licensed and trained to help you feel better. Mm-hmm. And you can't. What about pain? You can't see it. My back hurts. I can't get out of bed. Well, how does that doc know it's true or not? So they want to help you feel better.
Yeah.
So it's a real kind of catch-22 when it comes to the opioids. Now, drugs. Let's just talk a little bit about the other addict, mm-hmm. and that is what you call the addict. What you think in the old days. And here's what happens. When we're young, and some of you all heard this story before, but you might really pay attention to this. We have what you call contracts. Mm-hmm. When I grow up, I want to be a radio show host. I want to be a cop. Most kids, if you ask them what they want to be, they say I want to be a cop, right? Now a vet. They want to deal with animals, or a teacher or a fighter. They want to do something that helps people or something in sports. Mm-hmm. Nobody says I want to grow up and be a drug addict. So those are those contracts. And then there's another set of contracts. When I grow up, here's things I will never, ever do. I'm not going to use drugs. I'm not going to be a criminal. I'm going to be a nice person. And they mean that. What do you think the first contract that most kids break is? I'm going to ask, not you, I'm going to ask our board out. What do you think the first contract? Introduce yourself, too. And I'm going to include you in this today.
Yeah, my name is Aaron, 22. Let's see, I would say probably the first contract people break is they grow up, they see their dad have a few beers, and they see the effects of it, and they say, I'm never going to drink. Mm-hmm. And high school hits, and then their friends around them, the influences around them, begin drinking and get caught up in the social aspect of it. So I would say the first contract people break is drinking alcohol.
A lot of the times, yes. There's two. One is exactly right, is alcohol, and then usually they do it on sleepovers. They get into somebody's alcohol cabinets when they sleep over at their friend's house, and they go, and they take some, and the problem with that is a lot of times they get sick and they don't ever want to do it again, right?
Right.
But the ones that don't get sick and it feels good, and they go, whoa, this is awesome, they're in trouble already. Mm-hmm. So there's alcohol. That's one. The next contract that's even bigger than that is cigarettes. Think about that. And there's only two reasons a kid would smoke a cigarette. If you read the pack of them, let's take a second. They don't get you high. They don't make you feel good. Some people say, well, they relieve anxiety only because you're addicted to the nicotine. Mm-hmm. Cigarettes do not deal with anxiety unless you're already strung out on nicotine and you crave it. You need that cigarette. You take your first hit and it feels so good.
And part of that is a ritual that
you
they go through.
You took care of your craving. That's
part of it is also, Cary, the ritual they go through, how they take the pack out, how they take the cigarette out, how they light it.
But I'm going to take a break. But think about this: so on most packs of cigarettes, it says one of a few things. Now, it says smoking contains carbon monoxide. That's the crap that comes out of your car muffler. Why would you put that in your lungs?
Suck on your tailpipe and see how that makes you feel.
That's about the same thing. Or it says this. The Surgeon General has determined, you all listening to this? It doesn't say might anymore. It doesn't say warning. It says the Surgeon General has determined that smoking causes, don't say might, lung cancer, emphysema, and then it says some other stuff. Now, I don't know, but that's a pretty straight-out warning. My mother passed away of cancer about 5 or 6 years ago. And when she found out she had stage 4, I was with her at the doctor, and she looked at this doctor, and she said, how did I get this? How did this happen? And he looked dumbfounded. He just looked at her, and he says, Esther, it says it on the box. Can you imagine that? And for our listeners, it says it on the box. Mm-hmm. Let's take a break.
We'll be right back here on Families in Action on KHTS AM 1220 in one moment.